Welcome to the Road to Net Zero, our comprehensive programme to get your business on the journey to net zero emissions. Achieving net zero is a long-term project. Right now, we need every business to plan to work towards net zero. A meaningful plan to achieve net zero needs 4 components. A carbon management system, which consists of measuring all emissions and removals annually. 1 or more near-term targets over a 5 to 10 year period aligned with a 1.5 degrees C global warming goal. An annual carbon reduction plan. A carbon management policy formally adopting your targets. And public disclosure of emissions, targets, actions and history, which might include certification as a shorthand way to communicate your commitment. Secondly, it consists of taking action to reduce your emissions. This means ensuring your action plan is implemented and engaging key stakeholders such as your employees and suppliers in your carbon reduction journey. If you're going to make a credible commitment to achieve net zero, you need a target date no later than 2050, a target level aligned with the guidelines, which means an absolute reduction of 90% or a reduction intensity of at least 97%, and a commitment to remove and store an amount of CO2 equivalent to your residual emissions when you reach net zero. Finally, you need a net zero roadmap, which consists of a plan showing the key milestones and programs of work required to achieve your commitments, an explanation of where the resources and finances to complete the work will come from and how you will ensure the work gets done, an assessment of the risks that climate change poses to your business, and an explanation of how you'll align all the activities of your business with your commitment to net zero. We realise that's a lot to get your head around. The good news is you don't need to do this all at once. What you need to do is get on the journey towards creating this. We've created a step-by-step programme to get you on that journey and take you through the development of all these key components. The Road to Net Zero is our comprehensive monthly membership programme that will help you implement all the components of a meaningful net zero plan step by step, allowing you to build your net zero journey at the pace that's right for your organisation, in the knowledge that everything you do is aligned with the global net zero transition. Step 1 of the programme implements an effective carbon management system in your business. This system is like your sat-nav, ensuring that you start your net zero journey on the right foot, knowing where you started, travelling in the right direction, and giving you the tools to navigate it and not get lost along the way. Typically, around 80% of your emissions will be controlled or strongly influenced by your key stakeholders, such as suppliers, customers and employees, not forgetting the key role leadership of your organisation has. You cannot achieve net zero without them on board, and step 2 of the programme will give you an effective toolkit to convert them from potential roadblocks into your support crew. Step 3 of the programme helps you build and publish a roadmap for your journey to net zero, describing the route, the associated risks and the support systems needed to successfully transition. This will lay out a detailed itinerary for your journey, enabling you to select a considered net zero date and make a credible public commitment. So let's look in detail at what step 1 involves. The programme is built around a 6-step annual cycle, designed to get you moving quickly and embed carbon management for the long term. We help you identify all your emissions-causing activities and collect the data we need to do the calculation, which you provide through our secure online portal. Then we do the number crunching for you and provide a comprehensive but easy-to-read report that provides clarity on exactly where your emissions and contributions have come from. We help you write a carbon management policy, including sensible targets to reduce your footprint and to create a practical action plan to get there. We publish and host your unique certification page, so you can show people your commitment is real and independently verified, and we support you throughout the year, encouraging you to stay on track, giving tips and advice, and putting you in touch with other organisations that can help. First step in the cycle is to identify all your emissions-causing activities across all categories of activity identified by the Greenhouse Gas Protocol throughout your value chain, from raw material to end of life, and the positive contributions your business makes to the wider effort to tackle climate change. If relevant, this also includes the emissions and removals associated with the land your business owns or manages. We also identify all the positive contributions your business makes to the wider effort to tackle climate change. This sounds complicated, but we've simplified the process by creating a unique structured questionnaire, which we guide you through in your kickoff meeting. It's designed to rapidly identify all your emissions and contributions and the data you already have about those activities. We always try to start by working with the data you already have. It also gets easier as we go along. In subsequent years, we just need to identify what's changed in your business that might affect the calculation, and can we make any improvements to accuracy by collecting more or new data. Then we ask you to collect the data we need to do the calculation, which you provide through our secure online portal. We try to make this as painless as possible by asking only for the specific data we need and by allowing you to either type the data into the portal or upload files containing it. Then we do the number crunching for you, ensuring the calculations comply with the standards and provide a comprehensive but easy to read report that provides clarity on exactly where your emissions and contributions have come from. Our online report includes a unique drill down function that allows you to explore your carbon footprint in detail, giving you full insight into the sources of your emissions. We help you to set sensible targets to reduce your footprint that are in line with the latest scientific thinking on climate change and to create a practical action plan to get there. We ask you to set science-based targets that are aligned with the goal of limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees C. Everyone sets near-term targets, typically over a 5 to 10 year period. And if you wish, you may also set one or more net zero targets, which define the year you will aim to achieve net zero and the amount of reduction you'll do. We will then calculate annual carbon budgets, which identify how much carbon you can afford to generate in each key emissions generating activity, if you're to stay on track to meet your net zero targets. Then we help you create an action plan for the next 12 months, containing concrete actions that will reduce your carbon footprint, improve data collection, and engage your stakeholders in the effort. Finally, we help you write a meaningful carbon management policy that you can adopt and share with your staff, suppliers, and customers. Transparency is the best defense against accusations of greenwashing. So we will create and host your own certification page that publishes your carbon footprint and handprint, your carbon reduction achievements, your historic emissions, and your targets, action plans, and commitments. This is designed to make disclosure of your carbon reduction plan easy while providing independent evidence of your commitment, which can help prevent accusations of greenwashing. Sometimes your customers may require you to achieve additional third-party accreditation, such as CDP, SBTi, EcoVadis, B Corp, or NHS Evergreen. These can often be complicated to apply for and difficult to correctly complete. We will help you disclose your numbers and targets correctly to these organisations should you need to. To help you stay accountable for implementing your plans, we will set up quarterly progress reviews with one of our trained carbon coaches, in which we review the implementation of your action plan and agree remedial measures if things are not going to plan. That is our 6-stage annual cycle, which will get you moving quickly and then embed carbon management for the long term. So let's look in detail at what step 2 involves. This is where the change really starts to happen, as you start to get your key stakeholder groups, such as employees, suppliers, and your leadership team, involved in your carbon reduction journey. Step 2 of the programme includes the creation of a stakeholder engagement plan, identifying which of your key stakeholders are needed to implement the action plan and develop strategies to get them involved, dependent on their current level of engagement. This is built on the highly respected ADCAR change management methodology by ProSci. This sets out a series of 5 steps that individuals or groups need to go through in order to adapt to any new situation. As a minimum, we ask you to create a plan for these 3 key stakeholder groups: leadership, employees, and suppliers. If you'd like to, we can also help you create plans for the other stakeholder groups, such as shareholders, customers, regulators, associations, and members of the public. Before starting to involve your stakeholders, it's important to discover exactly where they are in their carbon journey to feed into your stakeholder engagement plan. So step 2 of the programme also includes surveys to each of your key stakeholder groups. We help you run workshops for your key stakeholder groups to help them understand the contribution they make to your emissions, confirm their position on their own carbon journey, and get their buy-in to an annual carbon data collection survey. The number of workshops you run will vary according to your goals, the number of stakeholders in each group, and the stage your stakeholders are at in their own journey. We will help you run as many workshops as you need. You also have free access to our supplier carbon reduction program, which will help ensure that your key suppliers are working on reducing their, and therefore your, carbon footprint, and report the emissions associated with the products and services you buy from them to improve the accuracy of your calculation. So instead of presenting your suppliers with a problem, you can present them with a solution. A supplier referral scheme is also available, which helps you fund your own carbon reduction journey by reducing your fees for each of your suppliers that signs up to use our services. We make it easy for your suppliers to report their emissions to improve your carbon footprint calculation. If we do the calculation or verify their own calculation, it will be automatically included. If they or a third party does the calculation, we'll send an annual data collection survey via our secure online portal to your participating suppliers. We can provide a dashboard of impacts achieved by your stakeholders, so you can see which of your suppliers have provided their carbon footprint data, set targets, and most importantly, achieved carbon reductions. So let's now look in detail at what Step 3 involves. In Step 3 of the programme, we help you to set one or more credible targets for achieving net zero greenhouse gas emissions aligned with the scientific consensus on the level of reduction required to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees C. We do this by first identifying all the projects you will need to complete to achieve net zero and the likely carbon saving from each one. Then we add to that the impact of expected changes in your industry sector and wider society, such as decarbonisation of the national grid, and the impacts of your business strategy between your baseline and your target net zero date. We estimate the impact of all these and compare it against your target reduction trajectory to validate that your net zero date is achievable and credible. Then we help you consider the wider implications of the net zero transition on your business and society by including the other key elements of a meaningful net zero transition plan as defined by the UN's high-level expert group report, Integrity Matters, Credibility and Accountability of Net Zero Emissions Commitments from Non-State Entities. This includes an assessment of the climate-related risks to the business, a description of how human resources, capital expenditure plans, research and development plans and investments will be put in place to support the key programs of work, and a description of the governance structure for transition and verification, including any changes to policies and regulations needed. This should include consideration of carbon pricing, and for businesses with more than 500 employees, how executive compensation will be linked to the achievement of targets. It includes an explanation of how the transition away from fossil fuels and the preservation of natural ecosystems will be just and fair for affected communities, workers and consumers to ensure economic development, resilience, equality, and avoid transfer of natural assets to new owners. And an explanation of how marketing, lobbying and policy engagement activities, including any trade association affiliations, demonstrate consistency with the net zero roadmap and avoid greenwashing. Carbon credits play two critical roles in your net zero journey. Firstly, by contributing to the achievement of global net zero, which is also known as beyond value chain mitigation, and secondly, by neutralising the residual emissions in your net zero year and beyond. These sit alongside your decarbonisation plan to complete your net zero roadmap. By pooling the requirements from all our clients, we can forward buy high-quality carbon credits, locking in supply and pricing. This is crucial to your net zero journey, as the price of net carbon credits is expected to rise sharply as we approach 2030, whilst the availability of high-quality credits will become limited. Finally, we pull all of this together into a net zero roadmap, which identifies the key milestones, programs of work and projects that will be required to achieve net zero greenhouse gas emissions by your stated target date, as well as all the other elements of a credible net zero transition plan. Here is a summary of the key steps involved in the Road to Net Zero programme, our step-by-step approach to building your net zero journey. Step 1 implements the basics of an effective carbon management system, ensuring you're starting your journey on solid foundations and embedding carbon management into your business processes. Step 2 helps you get all your key stakeholders involved in your journey. And Step 3 helps you create a meaningful roadmap, identifying the key milestones, programs of work and support systems required to transition to net zero, and set a credible target date, which might be several years in the future. Recognising the need to communicate climate commitments and achievements quickly and effectively, our certification scheme is an integral part of our programme. Once you complete the requirements of each step, you'll be entitled to use the appropriate badge on your website and in your marketing for as long as you remain a member of the programme. One of the key goals of the programme is to highlight the positive impacts you've achieved on your carbon journey. So your certificate also recognises your carbon impacts in 8 different ways. The reductions made to your own net emissions compared to your baseline, any additional CO2 removals made compared to your baseline, any greenhouse gas emissions you've helped others to avoid, greenhouse gas emissions you've helped others to reduce using carbon credits, or greenhouse gas removals you've made using carbon credits. Any future greenhouse gas removals you've funded through the purchase of pending issuance units, the number of trees you've planted, and any investments you've made in conserving or regenerating natural ecosystems. Our purpose is to make meaningful climate action affordable, accessible, and actionable to all businesses. To this end, we have a simple all-in fee structure that includes almost everything you need for your net zero journey. This includes a comprehensive annual carbon management system and best practice climate change policy, a stakeholder engagement programme, including unlimited workshops for your employees and suppliers, a supplier decarbonisation programme, including automated supplier surveys and a supplier impacts dashboard allowing you to track the progress of your supply chain towards net zero alignment, a comprehensive roadmap to net zero, identifying all the key decarbonisation projects you need to complete, together with the resources, finance and governance structures to make sure they get done, a climate change risk assessment helping you to identify and plan for the key risks to your business from climate change, participation in our certification programme, an online certification disclosure page making it easy to share your carbon reduction achievements with your customers, and free carbon reduction plans to PPN 06 for public sector tenders, and assistance to achieve third-party recognition if required. The only additional charge is for carbon credits from our unique SME portfolio, which are purchased for an agreed price from our partner, Nature Broking. Please note, the fee depends on the number of employees. There's a minimum 12 months engagement. A one-off joining fee applies, which has been waived for members of our previous certification programs. If the organisation has a group structure, there's one membership fee for each subsidiary, plus one for the group consolidation, and we reserve the right to change our fee structure from time to time. We'll always give at least 1 month's notice of this. Go Climate Positive is all about helping businesses who lack the in-house resources to do it themselves to tackle climate change and take part in the low carbon economy. Our team of carbon coaches and analysts are here to guide you through every step of your carbon reduction journey. And to date, we've helped over 150 businesses to make a start. We believe that the Road to Net Zero is the most comprehensive and affordable climate change programme for businesses of all sizes. But don't take our word for it. Here's what some of Go Climate Positive clients say about working with us. Get in touch today to start your business's journey to net zero. We'd love to talk to you about how the road to net zero could work in your business.